Hi, we're Frequency Broads. It's the last episode of the season. We are so pumped. We actually recorded it last week and we were like, nope, that's not it. So we're
Mm-mm.
back. Yeah, we definitely had more downloads that needed to come through. My lovely co host, Tara. I'm Victoria. We're so excited you're here. And like, share, subscribe, do the damn thing if you
Mm,
like us.
mm,
And
mm, mm. Even if you don't, if you don't like us and you want to subscribe anyway, that'd be cool.
Or if you really like us, comment. Let us know you're out there. Say hello. Let us know where you're from. I'm trying to flirt a little bit and it feels, I'm like,
You're like, welcome to Frequency Broads. Broad one, broad two.
oh my
Ah,
gosh, I'm not even kidding that my little trumpet neighbor is just starting up.
here it is, baby girl. We're
I
gonna
feel
ride
like
it.
it's the angels being like,
Yeah,
the heaven is as
yeah.
good as you create it, I guess.
Mm, yeah, ain't that the fact? So, how you feeling today, girl? It's our 10th episode. It's our second time recording our 10th episode. It is a beautiful sunny day. How art thou feeling?
I'm here. I'm in my body. I'm ready to do the damn thing. We are talking about Earth today, and I went to
Mhm.
connect with some Mama Gaia energy, and it felt so good. I mean, the birds chirping lately has like
Yes.
hit different. I don't know what I'm like. Maybe I'm getting older, and now I get why people enjoy bird watching. But yeah, I feel at peace.
Mm. I literally just said to Andrew when we were sitting because we had all our windows open since it's so nice, and this bird was like, I don't know, I guess just birding, right? Just like doing its bird thing. But I was like, what? Like, where are we? What bird is that? What even?
I know.
How is it even making that sound? Like, it was so beautiful, but also like, what the fuck was that? Like, where are we?
I know. I know. I feel that so deeply. And I swear I have this theory that when St. Helens erupted, I think that there is this whole like hybrid of birds that came after that that make very ancient exotic sounds of like the Pacific Northwest rainforest. They were like
Dude,
rainforest birds that have made
that's
their
what
way
it
into the
fucking
city.
sounded like.
Yep.
Yes. All right. I'm with it. I'm with this theory. I'm with this theory.
I mean, or they're just rainforest birds and St. Helens is just a fun little
Or they're just birds and we never actually listened before.
all could be true.
All could be true at once.
How are you feeling?
Oh my God. I am feeling so good today, especially in comparison to how I felt the past couple of days.
Yeah.
Um, and I know it wasn't just me. I was talking to a lot of people who were just feeling this like the way I described it was like my nervous system was activated without being triggered and I couldn't understand why I was having these responses. Like it was completely and utterly energetic. It was energy moving. There was nothing happening in my current reality. There was nothing happening in my heart or my mind even that would make me
Yeah.
like have these physiological reactions, but it came up and instead of trying to sit there and figure out like why am I feeling this way, because what it was just like pure and utter sadness. Like there was some guilt in there as well. I know, right?
Oops.
But it felt very reminiscent of when I suffered depression, and it just,
Mm,
like, came out of nowhere. There was no reason for it. I didn't have energy. I wasn't interested in doing anything. I hung out with people and was just, like, quiet, like, I just was sad. And, Molly McCoy said in her Intuitive Astrology, which Emma regurgitated for me, that there's a cycle closing that started in 2012. So all of these patterns and things that were happening in 2012 are resurfacing for you to kind of lay a new script out, like we were saying last episode or was that the episode we got rid of? Did we say that in the episode that we launched? I don't know.
I
But an
can't remember.
opportunity an opportunity for you to rewrite the script. And then when she said that to me, I go, holy shit, what's been coming up? My eating disorder, that was 2011, 2012. My depression, 2012, 2013. This guilt and like judgment on myself, this need for external validation, like this running myself on low, like all of these thought patterns and behavior patterns that even like getting back on nicotine, like that just giving into my addictions that I've been fighting for so long. I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it, right? Like very 2012 of me. Um, so just examining like, oh, be having like a touchstone to be like, oh, this is coming up and that's just linked there. Like I don't need to know the why. I just need to know that it's coming up and I just needed to let it ride. I just needed to experience it. I needed to feel it to heal it. And I'm so grateful that I have Andrew who creates such an incredible safe container for me to exist in these things that make no humanly sense, but feel very real. So when I came home on Friday, I was just sobbing all day. He took me to get dinner and buy the next book in my series and just took care of me. And then yesterday we were going to go on like a hike and do this and do that. And I just spent like the whole day crying. And he just allowed me to do so. There was a point where I like, before I knew this 2012 thing, that a song came into my head by Secondhand Serenade. Um, that's
Sing
like
it.
it's like, and tonight will be the night that I will fall for you over again. Don't make me change my mind. I'll live to see another day. I swear it's true. That whole thing. So I was like, oh, I want to listen to that. It's just popped into my head. And of course, as soon as the first chord starts, I'm crying. I'm just sitting on the couch singing Secondhand Serenade and crying. And then I was like, well, we got to follow suit. And Andrew's like, this is a terrible song. I'm like, I know, but I just got to sing it. And then I did like Mayday Parade, Miserable at Best, and like Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, whatever Angel song they have. And I'm just sitting on the couch holding my phone, crying and singing. And Andrew's just like, okay, girl, do that. You got to do that. You do that. Um, so, and there was a couple other things, but he really just held space for me. And I think that's why today feels so much better because I didn't resist those feelings. I also didn't perpetuate those feelings by finding a narrative to retell over and over. I didn't look for the why. I just said, I'm feeling this way and I'm going to allow myself to feel this way. And then I'm going to move on. And if that feeling came back up, I allowed myself to feel it and move on. So this morning, I was feeling so much better and I knew we had this episode. So I wanted to also go out and connect with Mother Earth. And I went for a walk and then I meditated and I got like a buttload of downloads. So I will be referencing my phone because that's where I took all the notes. Um, but one of the last things she told me as I was getting up to leave from my log was take every step you take with confidence, stomp it into the ground, and feed the mycelium with this confident power and love. And then a song came on that was such a fucking bop. I can't even remember what it's called right now. And Victoria, I kid you not, I wish there was someone who secretly recorded me because for the next 40 minutes, I walked on this very busy park trail as if I was the main character in a musical and danced the entire time. Like, I mean, like full on choreography, crouching down, like doing some hip hop shit,
Oh
spinning
my god.
around.
I
And like
love you
people are
so
watching me,
much.
and I'm like, I don't give two fucks. Like, Mother Earth said that I could do this. And I felt like a kid. Like, I just like put my hands out, my head back, was like spinning in the sun, like dancing on this. I met this one guy saw me once and he was like, hey, have a good morning. I'm like, yeah, you too. Saw him again. He's like, hey, what's your name? I'm like, I'm Tara. He's like, I'm Rich. I hope you have an amazing day. Like, I was just like fucking full on. I'm like, where's the like improv group or what's that
Where
like
they
the
like
flash mob.
dance.
Like I'm waiting. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Like I'm waiting for like everyone to come out. And I'm just like, Oh my god, like, it feels so good to be able to release and fully surrender to whatever energy was coming up in me the past 3 days, and then just, like, come back to my childhood self and just not give a fuck, like, not give 2 fucks who was around me, what was happening. Like, I mean, I probably danced past at least, like, 30 to 50 people, and, like, I was like, there was no hiding it. And matter of fact, I didn't realize because I had my headphones in until the end, that I had keys and coins together in my fanny pack. So as I'm shaking and doing 2 steps and salsa in the street, literally in the street, it's shaking and, like, grabbing attention from everyone because 'cause they're like, "Well, who's jingling this fucking coin purse right now?" And it's
I'm
my
pretty sure they
dumbass.
knew who it was.
So that's my freak check. I am feeling very grateful for the support I had to move through. Even a friend who was also going through it texted me today and was like, "Oh my god, I feel like a demon left my body all of a sudden." He's like, "I have
Yeah.
been feeling it physiologically." He's like, "I couldn't figure out why I was feeling this way, but I'm having these, like, physical reactions." And, like, he clenches his jaw. So he was like, "Oh, I don't even realize I'm doing it. I usually do when I'm stressed, but I'm not." And then today he was like, "I feel like a demon left my body. Like, I'm happier than I've been in a while." So it's just that concept of letting riding the ride, riding the ride.
Well, dancing in the street is one hell of a ride, so sounds like things are good over there.
And at least from my perspective, my moves were good. Like, they were, like, muted slightly because I was still, like, walking, but they were good. Like, if anyone else was listening to the song, they'd be like, "Oh, she's got a whole choreography right now."
I love the idea of, like, during the off season, we just go out and flash mob, and that will be our content.
Okay.
Except I
Okay.
record you. I don't think I maybe I'll join one time. I
It's
don't know.
so much fun. It's so much fun. I recommend it to anyone to just put on a song that you love or that's just, like, really hitting it in that moment and just giving it your fucking all in the middle of nowhere, like, in the middle of whatever you're doing. Grocery store, going for a walk, work. You have a minute at work that you're just listening to music, fucking break out in a dance. It changes your life. And I'm not a dancer. I've never taken dance. Once when I was 5, I did C is for cookie, and I said, "No more. That ain't for me." So it's not like I'm a dancer, okay?
You are a pretty good dancer though, I will say.
I have rhythm. I was in dance battles quite often in college,
Ooh, so New York.
like, at the bar. It's because I was so hyped up on a bunch of drugs and I couldn't stop moving, and so was everybody else. So we were like, "Oh, you and me," and everyone would, like, clear out, and there's just the 2 of us going at it in the middle, and then all of a sudden I'd be like, "Oh, everybody's watching. Okay."
I love that kind of competition.
Me too. Alright, Mother Earth, she saved us both today, I'll tell you that. And she gave me a lot to reference, but I'm interested what you got today in your walk from dear old mother. 'Cause it's Earth Day coming up, baby girl.
It is Earth Day. Happy Earth Day, happy Earth Month. I hope you're doing things to learn about what you can do better. Um I am kind of all over the place, but I think one of the biggest things that came through is all of us trying to process, or many of us trying to process, how there's so much destruction and mass murder and like horrific acts being committed while consciousness is raising rapidly and so many people are waking up. And
Mhm.
it like has me in this like kind of pissed off mood that like so many people have to go through really rough situations in order to wake up. And it's that like weird balance of like if things were really easy, would we evolve our consciousness. And it's almost like, and I don't want to like feed into this narrative, but
Mhm.
most people have gone through something pretty shitty and that's like what wakes them up. Or it's what traps emotions in the body and
Mhm.
then
Mhm.
creates disease. And so your energy has to be focused on your disease and not awakening up your consciousness. And I guess I've heard a bunch of spiritual teachers talk about all of this destruction being part of the cleansing. And it sounds, I don't know, I'm just kind of like sad and mad about it, but also that's not how I want to like put my energy out there into the world, but also want to acknowledge like shit, does it really have to be this way moving forward?
Well, I think that it hasn't had to be that way for quite some time if you choose it not to be, right? Like divine timing comes and gives you a nice little knock on the door and they're like, "Hey, here's a beautiful opportunity for you to choose yourself or for you to choose love or whatever." And when you continuously deny, then those quote unquote knocks on the door become harder and harder and harder until a tsunami is hitting your fucking house, right? So, I think, do we need to go through major trauma to evolve? No. Do we keep ourselves trapped till the only thing that causes us to change is major trauma? Sometimes. And I think collectively, we've ignored or been trapped in this narrative for so long that some of us or most of us need the big push to see how like bad things are and how we don't need to be doing things this way as much as we don't want it to. This concept also came up for me in one of my, like, the things that I got today was that not that the chaos that we're seeing, the destruction, the murder that we're seeing right now is necessary, because it's fucking not, and it
Yeah.
needs to stop. Like,
Yep.
we shouldn't have to even say ceasefire. Like, that should be a fucking given. That is, breathe, because then I'm gonna start getting angry.
I know.
Um, but it's just showing how close we are. It's showing how close we are to that window of opportunity to choose something different, or that it's already right here. And a lot of us are choosing to show up and say, no, we're not going to stand for this anymore. And I'm not going to do it through violence. I'm going to do it through compassion. I'm going to stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves. I'm going to lead with my heart, not with violence. Um, but something that really fucking blew my mind that she told me today was the concept, and we've talked about before, how our body holds 7 years of generational trauma, and we can tap into that, we can heal it, and we can transmute it, and we can do all that. Mother Earth is a living body. She is holding on to 7 generations of collective trauma, and as she's ascending, that means, as we are healing, that means that things rise to the surface. So, all of this rising to the surface is the breaking point for the past, we'll say 7 cycles, but like it's really probably way beyond that. But yeah, just really looking at how Earth is also bringing all of her traumas up to the surface. So that way, we as collective beings attached to her can choose something different.
It's like how quickly can we acclimate back to our home center of who we are, and how like do we better forge that connection of our home center within the core of our beings with the core of the earth. And that's what I'm very much
Mm,
feeling like this necessary like root chakra work
yes.
taking place, um because we've been operating from the heart up and
Yes.
very, and it's really time to bring it down into the earthly plane.
Mhm.
um I guess the other thing that came up for me is like the fact that like everything's so freaking political these days.
Mhm.
And I really do feel like in order for us to take our power back from the government, we must stop making everything political.
Mm.
Not we're not talking politics right now. Just
No.
wanted to add that because I'm like, I just see so much power being siphoned away by things that we think we can't control.
Mhm.
And this is all an energy game after all. So
And I think too, another thing that came through for me, and I love that we're just bouncing off things that came through for us because it shows that we were rating the same energy because they are all connected, was this concept of, because I was sitting at on this log in front of this little pond, but that pond was created to make the big shopping plaza more natural and beautiful and make you want to go and sit there, right?
yeah.
So I was thinking about the concept of how they make these really beautiful, quote unquote, naturalistic areas within like city centers.
Okay, you know I'm laughing because I have something so similar. I'm like, I know where you're going.
Well, I'm interested to see because what I got was, and it's part of like the whole dancing piece of me running around, is like they're putting these really beautiful spots next to societal structures and like these big box stores because they want you to come to this space but be so attached to the capitalism and the materialism as opposed to the nature. And she's like, take it back. She's like, if you're in a city and the only nature is the tree outside in the parking lot, like go hug that tree, go dance with that tree, go be with her, go put your feet on the little piece of dirt that you can find next to that tree, because they're putting that there because it's like a fake connection, right? Because they know that you won't make full connection. You won't be able to get into that state of presence and connectivity with the earth when you're surrounded by all these buildings and other things, and they're doing it on purpose. But you can take it back. You can take that space and make it natural if you let go of the judgment of societal standards of not being weird and like, oh, like I'm gonna be people are gonna be watching me. Sure, let them see that it's okay for you to connect back to nature, even in this really highly populated, materialistic, capitalistic area. Is that what
Oh
you
my
got?
gosh. I love this so much. Not it's sort of kind of. Well, no, okay, before I even go down the path of what came through for me that's sort of similar is just the fact that like imagine being in the 70s when yoga first came to the US and everyone was like, that's weird, that's different. Why are you moving your body like that? And now there's a yoga studio like on every single corner. And
Mhm.
so I just think about the things that we're talking about today and how maybe potentially there could be energy healing centers on every corner and it be almost like the new form of bank or getting gas. You're
Mhm.
like energetically going to get attuned or healer process or whatever it may be, like relating to your energetic currency. And I
Mm.
think that's why I've had such a hard time in like the money realm because I'm like, oh, yeah, that energy. It's such an external reflection of
Mm.
who we are and what's happening internally. And just a lot of stuff around mirroring is coming up for me. And
Mhm.
a lot of what humans have invented has mimicked nature. And I was then starting to think about how humans mimic other humans. And specifically, you could just tell a lot about someone by what they choose to adorn their crown with, meaning what kind of hat
Mm.
they wear. Like that, it just got me thinking about like the cliches of certain types of hats. And like how it just like it really does kind of fit a personality. Like I don't want to put people in boxes right now, but I mean y'all are putting it yourself in boxes by wearing some of these hats cuz I'm like it is such a vibe and I'll just leave it at that. But then it got me thinking just about like cliches
Mm.
and like the more authentic you are, I think the more it triggers people, but it also inspires people. Like Tara, like so many people today were probably like, ooh, look at like that kind of energy is contagious. Paving
Yes.
your own path is like courageous, contagious energy.
Mm.
And so we're out here just being our authentic selves because that is the most, I guess, truest form that your energy can shine.
And that's what we're on earth to do, is to be our authentic self and to shine. I think where we tend to lose that too is, you mentioned like yoga coming and then people being like, that's weird. And now it's on every corner. Being mindful of that it is an energy game and that capitalism took that too and was like, oh, they figured out this tool. Let's not give them the full thing and let's make it expensive and let's make it something that's about a certain body type and let's make it. And I'm not saying all yoga studios, right? But there are, as we move forward and start bringing more of this to the light and bringing an energetic exchange, that we're being mindful that it's coming from true intentions and authenticity and not from trying to fit in what society's fad is right now, or that's like super high capitalistic viewpoints. Like, look, we all have bills to pay. We live in a 3D reality. We deserve money for the energetic work that we're doing. I'm not saying don't charge for that, but I'm saying be mindful of the intention behind it. Because as Victoria just said, it's an energy game. Money is energy and intention is energy. And if the intention is to fuel you, that's ultimately fueling the earth and consciousness, that's beautiful, that's aligned, you go with that. But if it's about external validation, ego, filling your pockets, making you look a certain way, then that's not actually fueling you. It's fueling them and what they want you to feel, that not enough.
And similar with your own energy, like money, you can spend, invest, or save. So I've been thinking about my energy in that way and how I'm
Mm,
spending or invest. And the whole investing, I think, ties into debt or deficit and feeling like you're depleted in some way. And it's really hard to invest in yourself when you have that output on the other end.
mm,
Um, and it's so time that like conscious creators have money and know how to hold money and how to
mm.
manage money. And I think a lot of us probably are just like, fuck, we see beyond all of this shit and it's really hard for us to give a damn about it.
Yeah.
But when we start to give a damn about it and understand that we then get more of a say in how resources are distributed, things are going to get a little bit more interesting. Like
Mm-hmm.
change is going to happen that much faster. So, just saying, let's
So
all
what
work on
would
our money wounds and
what would
take over
be
everything.
fuck
Just kidding.
yes. No, for real though.
Wait, can we just like imagine a world with like super loving, compassionate leaders? Like world leaders who are loving and kind. Like I hope, Tara, that we get to see that in our lifetime. I mean, I never thought I got to see weed legal and it happened like that.
um
Maybe within the next 10 years we're going to see.
So I know that you're talking about money in some capacity, but when you're talking about energetic, where are you investing? Where are you saving? Where are you spending? I can understand the spending concept, right? Where am I giving my energies to other? I can understand saving my energy, right? Sitting with myself, recharging, whatever. What would investing, because I understand money wise investing in myself, right? Taking courses for things I care about or want to. What would it look like energetically, though, to invest in yourself?
Well, that's exactly it. It's waking up your consciousness. It's actually tuning your physical body. So that could look like massage, paying for workout classes or dance classes or yoga or any type of, right? So I think it's more of like fine tuning your vessel. And it,
Mm,
even food could play a huge factor.
mm, mm.
It's
Okay.
whatever resources it takes to maintain this.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, especially to come back to what you were saying, how we've been living in this like heart chakra up, which I so feel, but that's okay. I'm gonna say this, and people are gonna be like, "Girl, you're crazy." That's the easy part. The easy part is going up and touching base with your higher self and listening to your guides. The hard part is anchoring it into your root chakra and actually using it and embodying it and stepping on a path, not visualizing the path, not manifesting the path, not feeling it energetically, but actually fucking walking the path. And that was another thing that Mother Earth really spoke to me about is like that whole thing, heart chakra up, they're up there too. They got that piece of it. You came down here because this is the hard part. This is what takes warriors and really strong fucking beings to come down here and figure out how to take all that and bring it down into the body while you're also simultaneously dealing with the traumas that have been passed down to you and what's happening collectively that you're tapping into. Hence why it's so important to run things through your field and not your body. Because, like I said, Mother Earth is holding years and generations of collective trauma. Let that shit run through your field because your job is to work through your body, your ancestral lineage, then walk that path. That's the hard part. Being human is the hard part. We're meant to be here and do that. And only very specific beings can because it's fucking hard.
It's hard, and they sold us on it being fun and, like, something other people like, this experience that's unlike anywhere else in the universe, and we're like, we didn't read the fine print apparently.
Well, I think it's funny you say that because Mother Earth also said to me this morning, like, can you embody what it feels to be on Earth for the first time, but as an adult? Because we experience that as children, right? We go
Huh.
out and the world is full of wonder and we're curious about it and we're excited about it. Like I was looking at a log today and I was like, that's a fucking cool log. And she was like, yeah, imagine this was your first time. Like, can you actually see the world, whether it's the structures and building and the humanistic technologies and things we got going on, even that piece, right? Like, whoa, look at what you guys did. Like, cool. Like, look at this flower. Cool. Like, can you step onto earth? Because the only reason what makes it hard is really attachment. Wanting to have a certain thing or holding on to things that no longer serve us. But when you're a kid, you're not doing that. You're just experiencing everything for the first time. So, can you, as an adult, try to shift your perspective to literally looking at your surroundings for the first time? Even your own room that you decorated and being like, wow, that looks really nice. I like that.
It's so interesting you say that because as consciousness rapidly evolves and we start to feel these new energies and downloads and upgrades, we are really starting to look at things differently or for the first time because our levels of perception have expanded and opened. And this is what 5D looks and feels like. This is, or anywhere in between the
Yes.
three, four, five. We're going to be kind of like bebop in between three, four, five, and integrating those energies as one, that like holy trinity of three, four, five.
Yes. Yes. Yes, we are like it's all like when I was looking at that log, she's like, "Yeah, cuz this is 5D Earth." She's like, "They're like we said before, it's not separate. It's merging them. It's being able to exist." Think about it. Density, like when matter is tighter, it's harder to get through. It's harder to be here. So if we can exist in this form while also feeling the energy that goes between the atoms and also feel the quantum physics that you can change the atoms, that's what 5D Earth is merging all of those things. And girl, we started the episode off talking about these birds that we feel like we never heard. It's because our perspective is changing. We're seeing and hearing things that we feel like maybe
Wow.
we're never there before, but we're there long before we even existed.
Also, you said the word detached and being or not attached. I forget which one you said. Or
I think I said
attached.
I think I said non-attachment. So a little bit of both.
Good, because I think there's a huge difference between non-attachment and detachment, and I highly recommend you do your own research on it.
Mm.
I'll leave that there.
Yes, yes, words, words. I'm like, what else is on my list? Oh, wait. You want to know something crazy? I saw this
Hmm.
video the other day. I'm sorry, I can't remember who said it because it was like, but they were talking about a tree and how a tree is a great metaphor for life because a tree grows in two directions at the same time. It grows down to earth and it grows up to the cosmos.
Oh my gosh.
But it can only grow up to the cosmos if it pushes through resistance, if it creates its own path, if it's in the darkness and pushing through. Like it needs to grow down first through darkness in order to grow up and bear fruit. And I was like, oh my God,
Wow.
yes. Like, not that we need to go through trauma, but we're going to need to
Nope.
be uncomfortable and pave our own path in order to grow towards the light.
It's a full and total commitment to being in your body
Mm,
and sinking into your body in a way that does feel like a very foreign, uncomfortable suit that contains energy that is sometimes hard to contain in a human vessel.
yes. Hence why we cry and scream and dance and do these things because we need to expel this energy out of our body at times, sometimes in a great way and sometimes in an uncomfortable way.
Mm. It's so funny because, recording this episode last week, I thought I knew where we were going to go with this episode and the message. And then today's message is now blowing my mind because I didn't even fully put it together. And I kept getting hints of like, Tara's going to awaken it, or like your conversation's going to piece together all of these clues and metaphors and signs and symbols and perceptions. So,
Hmm.
woo! I'm loving this.
Well, something else that she shared with me connected to being in your body is like really recognizing that we're made of elements. If we're made of elements, then we can learn from the natural form of that element, right? So, for example, she was like, simple, we hear it all the time, flow like water. If you can flow like water, get over the rocks and the creeks and crevices and find your way to creep through and be fluid in how you form in new containers, like you're going to be able to flow with the current of life. Keep that fire, that passion, your spark, embodying your authenticity and really shining that outward. Like let your fire burn strongly, but not from anger, from a place of like passion, right? Have strong foundational roots in everything that you do, like earth, and have your breath of life like come back to your breath to ease the winds and sways of life. So like really tuning into the fact that we are made of elements and look at how the elements handle difficulty, right? With or not difficulty. I don't even know what I'm saying, but
They're
just
pretty
like
confident in their existence, which I think was the
yes.
other theme that you heard today.
Yes, being confident in everything. Wait, can I rattle off a couple things?
Mhm.
So, first thing she told me was look at Earth, look at the plants, look at the animals. Like, how are they responding? That's how we get back to nature. So, like the concept of the early bird gets the worm. Yeah, the first bird to wake up is going to get those worms from last night. You know what I mean? So if you're sitting there on your ass, you're not going to get what you need. You got to get out there and go. You got to make the changes and make the action that you want. Otherwise, you're sitting in it, right? Or the concept of, and this is kind of like shifting topics slightly, but the concept of like when we find a flower so beautiful, we dry it out. And we love our dried flowers, our dead dried. crinkly, crusty, old flowers. So why can't we love our crunkly, I don't even know what word I'm trying to say, but why can't we love our aging bodies the way that we love aging earth? We love watching the leaves fall and change colors and crunching on the leaves. We love saving dead flowers. We love looking at like the mountain melting and creating a new river. So like why are we so caught up in our bodies changing and aging when we find it so beautiful when earth does? Hmm? And then the other big thing was that um wait, I lost it. What was it? Oh, we harbor so much guilt for what we personally or humanity has done to earth, but holding on to that guilt and saying, oh my God, there's nothing we can do, or climate change is at a point where we can't come back from all this stuff. That's not how we would respond to our loved ones when they were going through something. We'd hold space for them, we'd support them, we'd show up for them. And she basically was like, I'm going to love you no matter what. So get over it, stop giving a pity party, and show up for me. Like, I need you. I'm your home. I'm your food. I'm your body. Like, take care of me. And it can start with looking at something as more central than thinking of the globe. Like, what's polluting your body? What's polluting your heart? What's polluting your mind? Because I can promise you, if it's polluting you, it's polluting her. So get off the pity party train. Be that early fucking bird that gets the worm and show up for mama.
And know the difference between getting up and going versus procrastinating or putting it off because you don't feel ready versus rest, because rest, isn't there a book that's like rest is the greatest form of, I don't know, resistance, rest as resistance?
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it's a book. I don't, I'm going to look into this later, but rest is equally as powerful. But you're right. And I do admire that about you, your ability to get up and get shit done,
Mm-hmm.
get in your worm.
Get my worm. Wait, do you know as a kid, I used to, because my dad had a really big backyard and we had a tire swing. I used to. Not only did I used to talk to the squirrels, I very much thought I was talking to the squirrels. I used to gather worms and make them do musicals on the tire swing.
I'm obsessed with this. Like their stage would be the
It would
inner
be the
part.
tire.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'd just be like, "Bee dee 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 dee," and make these worms have like a fucking musical, like a whole storyline. Come back to your inner child because that's your inner child wants to be in nature. Come back to her. She was also referencing for me like the concept of plant medicine and the importance of like pulling away from all these chemicals, right? What's polluting your body? Like earth has everything we need. Take care of yourself with going out in the sun, with getting fresh air, with eating good foods, with using herbals. But she also said, be mindful of these plant medicines as a form of numbing and avoiding. Because, as I said earlier, feeling is healing. And if we're using these concepts to avoid or numb ourselves, then we're not helping anyone. So, finding that line between rest, avoidance, and action, which is tuning into your body and listening to it. Um, and where is that coming from? Is it coming from ego or intuition?
And remembering that your sensitivity is your superpower. It's how you're able to connect to your intuition and hear and see and experience things and get the downloads. So it's like owning that power
Mm,
is such a bold that's part of the resistance too. If we're talking about
mm-hmm.
the energy game, quickest way to get your power back.
Mm-hmm. And, if you're going to do anything for the earth and you feel like you can't do much, The way she charges you when you put your bare feet on the ground or you're walking on the sand or sitting on a rock, you can do that for her. And how much she appreciates and how much it does make a difference for you to just put your hands or your feet on the ground, and instead of being like, oh, earth, charge me and take what I don't need, like giving her love, giving her gratitude, just taking a moment to put your hands on the ground and say, I'm not here to take anything else from you. I'm here to give you. I'm here to say thank you and I love you and I appreciate you and I'm going to fight for you. If that's all you can do, then that's beautiful. Do that.
My goodness, everything we've said today is just such a good reminder that awareness is what
Mm,
this is all about. And the more that you're aware, the more compassion and grace and humbleness that you embody, and it that's when it gets to feel really good and get really interesting, and things just feel fun at that point.
mhm. I think it's time to have fun. I know that there's a
Yeah.
lot of heartache happening in the world right now, and I'm not pulling away from that. It's two sides of the same coin. It's finding balance to be aware and taking action to do what you can for humanity and for the earth, but also knowing that you have to fucking enjoy life in whatever capacity you can, even if it's just hugging a tree, because that's all you have the energy or money or time to do. Find that bit of joy wherever and whenever you can, because that's what she wants from you. That's what she gives for you. The oceans to swim in, the trees to swing on. Like, she wants you to play.
Speaking of one day maybe living in a world where like energy healing centers are on every corner, our dear friend Christina has offered 20% off a session with her if booked by the end of April. I know it's mid to late April right now, so the link is in our bio. Can't say enough good things about working with Christina. So check her out. And it's just, even if you don't feel called to work with her, take a look at her website and take a look at some of the different modalities that are coming out now, because we've kind of been used to the same things
Mm-hmm.
after all these years. And it's just really refreshing to see new healing modalities come on the scene.
Yes. And Christina worked under Kari, who is also my mentor, who is going to be running a new Metatron code series. And there will also be a link below with a coupon code for you to access her 3 new classes that are coming out, which are kind of like weaving all of the work that she's been doing into how do we use this energetic technology so that way you can take it from these higher chakras down into the earth plane. So look below for our wonderful community and make sure that you are subscribed to us on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast, as well as Instagram, because we are about to go on break and we will be launching season 5 in person quite soon. And we want to make sure that you are up to date for when we are coming back. So make sure you are following us. And we love you so much. And we are so grateful that you're here with us today.
We're
And
so
happy Earth
grateful.
Day.
Happy Earth Day. We love you.
Oh, you know what I thought? Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
Girl, she's mama. Happy wife, happy life, bro. Like, make her happy. Make yourself happy. We love you.